Oh, howdy guys, how's it going? So we are finally down at the hot bale tent to do an overnighter. It took and rained a decent bit the past day or two, and then was a bit breezy, dried things out. But coming down here, looking inside, it looks like no water got in. It looks like the canvas done a great job of repelling water. Doesn't seem like there's any signs of insect. Well, I'm mainly worried about mice this time of year with anything, but the only thing in here was the premium double King Camp sleeping pad that we had put in here, and then since then I'd come down here and brought this. This is a Mission Mountain chair and a Mission Mountain collapsible table, and that's actually what we used in the last hot wall tent series that we did, and these just work out very well. They're those items that are they're too bulky for any kind of backpacking, but they're great for either car camping or a more permanent setup like this when you're using an ATV or something to transport gear. Yeah, and the wood stove still on that. I couldn't find that fireproof circular thing. It's tucked away somewhere, but I brought one more piece of camp furniture that we'll set up here in a second, that I think will be really handy to have here, especially as like a stove side table when we're doing everything. Got a percolator, need to make some coffee. Now I will say I've been disappointed. This is what's kept me from doing an overnighter here until now. The temps, we just had this really strange warm spell for January, and now that we're in the beginning of February, it's cooling back down. Today the high is 53, which is about what it is, I'd say, right now. Like I got to take this jacket off. But then tonight we should be getting down to 42, and I mean that's not nearly as cold as I'd like for it to be using our hot tent. But we're going to take advantage of some of these zip windows here, and try to get a nice cross breeze blowing through, especially while we have the wood stove going. So we'll do that, and need to take and process some firewood. So. Yeah, no, I for sure want to have this window right here behind the stove itself open. Now there are toggles for these, but since we'll probably be putting them back up, there's no risk of that coming out because it's not windy or anything today. So. Well, I mean, it is a little bit breezy, but I mean, there's nothing that's going to kick that flap up. I gotta say, this pad is still perfectly inflated. We're going to open up these lower windows. I gotta go around. I tensioned up the front few guy lines because where this thing is here, just in case you've never dealt with, I mean, really any type of tent material. It doesn't matter what it is, but especially canvas and like the type of cordage used on this will stretch and stuff over time, especially whenever you first set it up. Here's a Mission Mountain table. And we'll kind of, as we figure out how we want to move and flow around the tent, we'll decide on where things get positioned and actually placed. And then I brought out my big Wayland saw. I've not used this thing in a hot minute, but as you can see, it is it means business. So it's more than what we need for just our firewood needs here. There we go, got that clipped into place good. Then you just screw her down. So this saw is overkill for the size of wood that I'm planning on processing for a stove, but I just haven't got this thing out in a while, and because of the long blade design, it actually takes a second to get used to with the technique so that you don't completely bend and bind the blade. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to get it back out. And this is hardwood. This is a maple that's been sitting here and dried out pretty dang good. So good wood to work with this purpose. And now I brought down that hatchet that I got out of the battle box. I believe it was a fox hatchet. There we go. So you're getting smoother with it by the stroke. There goes the airplane. But yet with a blade length like this, it's, you know, sawing one-handed is kind of where the challenge lies a bit, because you just don't have that full stabilization. It's not the blades of the teeth, it's just that my approach angle is shifting a bit as I go down, and with a shorter blade or a butt saw you wouldn't really notice it. You just do because of that length, but saw's working great. I got this log carrier that I don't get to use that often. This is one of those things that come in that Better Bushcraft box we opened, but we will definitely use that to gather up some of our cut wood and some kindling to get a fire going. And yeah, then this right here, this is a Fox hatchet that I got out of a battle box. It's just like a very standard looking classic hatchet design. And haven't sharpened it or anything, so it seems like it is going to do the trick to process up some good thumb size pieces. The way that is shaped is just, there we go. Cool deal. Okay, so this is the other piece of furniture I was talking about that we're going to be setting up, and is going to be a mainstay here unless I need to come retrieve it for something. And this is one that's actually very compact in a way that you could carry it and utilize it in a wider variety of scenarios than some of the other stuff that I'm utilizing down here. So we can get it out right here on the bed. And then there is our table. So, like I said, up front, it's a very straightforward thing. Now, it does, run away from us, it does have other attachments and things for it, and I have those just separate, like a hanging thing, just things I know that I won't really be needing or, you know, using down here. So, really straightforward. We've got this hanging hook that can go on top, and then we've got our legs. And we can either, I don't know if I want to have this at this height. I think for in here, that is going to be the way to go. It's just having it right here with a single leg. So yeah, it just goes in the center here. And they screw in. And you can double these up and make it longer, or, you know, sit higher up if you're going to be using this as more of a standing table, but we're just going to be pretty much sitting down whenever we're using this. This little arm that you can use to hang like a small lantern or something, which I forgot about that. I would have brought my that little UCO lantern too with me, but we can bring it out another time. Then yeah, it is as simple as that. That stake right here, so you can actually take, it's got a bungee and you can stake it into the ground, and then you've got these fold down hooks under here that will be held up in place by that bungee, and you can even take and hang things from the bungee. So I think this will be a really nifty, handy little table to have right there by our cooking area, right there by our wood stove. And it's so light, you know, you can move it around anywhere that we need it. Okay, so this was the pack of the extreme fire plugs that I've last open that I've had personally. But in our last battle box, we got this Uberlin ferro rod and another pack of those. So that pack right here that I've had is just going to take and stay down here to be used for getting fires going. And then we're going to play around with this new ferro rod. Still got to take and get the coating off of it a lot better than whenever I just was playing around with it in the battle box video. It's not as much going to be the ferro rod as it is just how well the striker performs at throwing sparks. So it helps to have an even coat off of it. There we go. So those are getting lit. I could have broke those up a lot better to where that many strikes wouldn't have been necessary, but got that. I took and got a good handful of small kindling that we'll take and do once we get this pushed back in there a bit. And there's still some small pieces of wood left inside of this thing from the last time that we was down here and just done the setup and the initial burn. And before I left, I took and just smothered it by closing off the airflow to the stove. Laid in here. It doesn't look like we really had any moisture come down. I mean, I remember one time there was some really heavy rain. When Hurricane Helene came through, and we had our other wall tent set up, and with all of that rain and the wind blowing the rain different directions. Yeah, I should probably open that pepper back up. Some blew in and come in the stove and washed out some ash and everything, but that is just how that went. So yeah, just I have zero complaints. All the winter well stuff that I've field tested and used, not had a single issue with it. Wait, I take that back. I think there was one thing right here on the hinge where I took and walked by it and got it with my leg and bent it all the way back, and one of the welds broke right there. So, okay, that's the only thing that's, but that was operator error for the most part. And then we'll go ahead and grab one of our larger pieces and see if we can wiggle it in here so it can get to doing something for us. Now it is finally time to get some coffee going. I'm going to be breaking in. This is a steel enamel coated percolator. This is a Miltech one. I got their dish set because I really like those deep plates and everything. And thought, you know what, why not? You can never have too many percolators. There's just too many ways to make coffee. And I need to bend that lid thing around the handle a lot better than it is. So for now, I'm just going to set that off. Okay, and the table's on an angle. Here we go. I'd say that right there is about half a pot. Because now the only thing with this is I've been, you get spoiled using percolators with the window tops on them. So this one, there's a little bit more eyeballing going to be involved. And just guesstimation and going off color and everything. I'm going to set this down where it's flat. Freshly ground coffee, ground this morning. We'll see if this bag will allow me to pour it in there without having to break out a spoon. Oh yeah, minimal spillage. Should be, that's probably more than we need, but turn out just fine. Got enough for tomorrow. And put that in there. Now we'll take her on over to the stove. We'll set it near the back here where it can get the best amount or the most heat. Okay, so we had a little bit of a what I thought was going to be a major mishap, because all of a sudden I started to smell like something was burning that shouldn't be, and then I seen smoke coming from our heat sleeve here, and I was like, what could possibly be going wrong? And it started to smell like absolute just chemicals. But what appears to have happened is, for some reason, on the bottom of this heat tube sleeve here, well, I mean, I know why, there is a thing to where you could cinch this up, like a little plastic toggle. It shows up any better, and I mean, I don't know, like, I'm sure it was some type of heat resistant plastic, but my stove was not even going that hot at all. And yeah, that right there is just took and come in contact. You can see where it's dripping down the back there. So yeah, I brought a fire extinguisher with me that I have here now. Boom, right here. This is Vapor Clean. Yeah, Vapor Clean fire spray. It's supposed to be good for pretty much everything: grease and oil, flammable liquids, electrical equipment, ordinary solid materials. So we have a fire extinguisher here. That was something I never did bring down here at the other wall tent, but I was worried there for a second that I might have jinxed myself by bringing it and thought I might have to use it. But I think we're going to be okay, because I come out here and pulled and tugged on this. Like, that bit of smoke you see that looks like what I thought was the material itself is actually that piece of plastic probably still trying to burn off. So we'll just keep as much airflow going through there, but there's not a lot I can do until that thing just burns away. Man, it is getting warm in here, but I thought while our coffee is working on getting to going, because I had to re-stoke the stove up after that little incident. But the things that we're going to be using, I've got my Titan Survival or Camo wool blanket. That alone, it would probably be enough, honestly. But I've also got my light sleeper Wooby blanket. You know, it's nice because it's got that pocket in it where you can slide in a sleeping pad. If you need to, you can take and put that on top of you, and then you have 2 layers of a Wooby blanket. But yeah, we're just going to be sleeping taco style. And then this is the King Camp pillow that come with this King Camp Premium double insulated pad. So this bad boy has those to help hold her together, and it's made of this really soft, comfortable feeling memory foam stuff, and it just inflates. And then yeah, this is the pump that comes with everything. And so that right there still got give to it. And if you was using a different type of sleeping pad, you got that strap right there to throw over the back of it, which is nice. But this is a very plush and premium pillow that I have slept on just in my regular bed. So where we got a nice flat lay here, I don't think we're going to have an issue with you know, rolling around too much. But I'm going to get this stuff set up. So this thing has been having this like steady little perk a popping for a good bit. I want to see kind of what the color's looking like. Okay, I mean, it's getting there. Okay, so it's been doing its little slow and steady perk long enough. I think we should be about where we want to be. Set that there for a second. And the color looks pretty dang solid on that. Let it go just a little bit longer. Brought out some milk. Up and cool that bad boy down. Yeah, so that actually looks about perfect. I think we'll possibly find to set this off right there, and then we can always set it back on if we need to warm it up. But a really nice looking cup of coffee right there. The stovepipe's starting to get a bit angry over there. I think this is finally cooled down enough to where we can give her a taste. And the first pot of coffee in that percolator is a success. You just can't beat a good percolated cup of coffee by a wood stove. That's... Alrighty, and then now that it's dark, besides my headlamp, our main source of lighting and power is going to be this Anchor. This is the Anchor 548 power bank. Thing seems to be an absolute unit, but this will be the first outing that I brought it on. But it's all I need to charge, like my headlamp. It's got USB, USB-C, that's a solar input. And then this top part right here just accordion styles up to act as, you hit the button once, just tells you your power percentage in case you want to know. Hit it again, light, hit it again, very bright light, and then just a SOS feature that flashes like that. So we're going to be going with lighting option 2. Why not? For now, I'll just have it set right here. I'll see how it stands on our table over there. But I am about ready to get to cooking. Okay, guys, so it is time to start cooking, I do believe. I got my stove kind of where I want it. We got a new pan we're going to be trying out. And if you've been around, you know that I like corned beef hash. I normally get the cans that are like pre-made. It's already got the corned beef and potatoes and some fat and stuff. But this time, just got a straight up can of corned beef and a thing of sliced white potatoes, got butter, got shredded cheese, and then this oversized thing is a little homemade spice kit that I made like late last year, maybe around that time. No, well, now the year before last year. But it's not a very good one in terms of the quality. I ordered this pouch thing off of Temu, but these vials that are in here that I use for the spices, you know, they're food grade, so they're good. And they was separate from the pouch. But this is a very comprehensive spice kit. I mainly only need salt, pepper, and Old Bay. Gonna whip out the old multi-tool here. One thing I like about this one, hit up on that, boom, there we go. So I'm gonna open up, that right there has a peel key, but I'm gonna open up these potatoes and drain them. So boom. So now the only thing that I'm not sure, since I've not done this exact method, like these are, you know, they're cooked, everything's pretty much ready to go, which one I should do first, because I got my butter, so I thought I was about trying to brown up the potatoes a bit, and then we'll kind of go about adding in the corned beef. But I'm not sure it's better to start browning that up first, and I also don't know. I think the quantity of both of these cans will fit. This is a, this is really cool. So this is a titanium pan slash plate slash tray, whatever you want to call it, and company I like, Vault Can. But I like this because it kind of has the dimensions of a USGI mess pan, you know, frying pan. And you could always run a stick through both of these. I mean, that would cover your cooking surface, and I'm going to play around with it. But I don't know, I just think this is going to work really good to sit on top of the wood stove. And, you know, we can mess around with mixing in our ingredients. So let's get this going. See how this goes. So I believe we remove that. Put that there, and then twist. There we go, the other direction. There we go, other direction. Roll that back and just look at that good, beefy, fatty goodness. I just took and dampered down the wood stove a bit. Put our pan on there. Start off with that amount of butter. I meant to go cut a wooden stick. I just realized I didn't have that, but titanium on titanium is not a problem. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty positive it's not a problem. let's put in some potaps and just kind of see what the volume looks like. If anything, we might use half the potatoes. Also, let's turn it this way because it's a bit more even since it gets hotter back there. And then we'll just occasionally spin this around. Do this gradually. So it looks like we might should have done the corned beef first. Okay, so now that looks about done. I think I'm going to do this half first and then cook the other half. Just because I feel like this amount with where like the way the heat's being distributed, you kind of need this much wiggle room. I don't want it like pouring over the sides. I'm sorry, not salt. We got pepper and Old Bay. I don't know how salty that corned beef is, so not. You can see some of the pepper going up in the air there, where and some of the Old Bay. And I think that is going to set us up good for round one. Set that off. That's where these side trays or racks come into play. Oh, and I about forgot, while it's nice and hot, we need to sprinkle some cheese. Probably should have brought some more cheese, but since we got to do 2 of these, we'll just try to split this in half visually the best we can. That seems about right. That mixed in good. Now, the real question is, how does it taste? I mean, the pepper and the Old Bay, where a lot of your flavors coming from, but like, God, just corned beef potatoes with that cheese, it's made to go together. I feel like this is a little bit better than the premix because you have full control over the ratio of corned beef to potato. I think doing the potato in the butter first before adding the corned beef was the way to go, because if I would have done the corned beef first, by the time I got the potatoes where I wanted them, it would, you know, we just have started to stick to this a little bit. But that is very, very good. So I'll cut back to when we're making plate 2. So here we go, round 2 for all the meat and potatoes. This time I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to try adding the potatoes first with a splash of water. Took and boiled some water in this while I was just waiting for that first round to settle a bit. And that way I can clean this out a bit. And before I do anything else, I'm going to season my potatoes so I can see a little bit better how much I'm putting in. Looks about right. Now we're going to come in and drop in a stick of butter. And then while that butter is still doing its thing, I took and put my spoon in here and twirled around the can, at least what I could without it coming out. We'll do that again now, just to break this up a bit more before putting it in. Wasn't really a way to do that at all when the can was completely full. And I'm going to dampen that down a bit. Oh yeah, we have got ourselves another winner, it looks like. We'll take now this time though and immediately add our cheese. I mean, you can't tell me that right there does not look delicious. Dig into round two. One thing I found is this hook is great at just taking, throw your headlamp on, and then after I got done recording, I took and propped my phone up against this little pole thing and could watch a video while eating. So very multifunctional piece of gear there. It might just be because there's more cheese, but this one is definitely even better than the first one. And the first one was really good. Also too, the temp is lower than 42. It's probably actually going to be in this specific area getting down to about 37-ish. So definitely in the high 30s. So, you know, just with our shirt that we have on and our weebie and our wool blanket together is definitely enough. But I am really glad that I brought both with me. So I'm going to finish this plate, clean it off, and get back with y'all whenever it's time to hit the hay. Alright guys, well it is time to hit the hay, and I gotta say that this pad is just heavenly to lay on, as well as this pillow. You know, obviously at the bottom floor of a tent, a hot tent, you know, cold air sinks. I did take and close up all of the windows because I got a thing saying that there's a 30 to 40% chance of rain, so you never really quite know the direction and where it's going to be falling in this location. So got the vents closed. I got the stove. I'd say it's halfway stoked up, and I've got the dampers and stuff set with airflow to where it's just enough air to keep it burning, so that it will just slowly die out, and then, you know, we'll just be relying on our wool blanket and our woobie. Just have been laying here for like a second, and upper body's perfectly fine. Like for majority of the night, just going to kind of have the woobie. I'll keep the wool blanket and stuff over the section of my feet and my legs, mainly just because I don't want to have to deal with accidentally kicking my feet out from underneath both, because both will be needed, you know, by the time it's all said and done. But yeah, it's a cozy setup nonetheless, more than enough, and the size is good. So it's just a very, very comfortable lay. So anyways, I'm going to take and turn my light off. Nice. So at all them hours of usage, it's just not 97%, so it's very, very nice, because we did have it on high. Oh, but yeah guys, I'm going to drift off, and I will talk to y'all in the morning. Good morning guys. How's it going? I gotta say that last night was just a top of the line sleep. Like, I slept in a good bit. I think it's like 8:45ish right now, and Yeah, like that just was nothing but comfortable. Just don't even want to get out of bed. We did get some rain. Not sure what time. It had to have been like after 1 a.m.-ish, I think. I just kind of, but for a second heard it. I don't think it lasted long because I went out to pee. Like the ground's like a little moist, but it's not soaking wet or muddy or anything. Because also too though, it has been pretty breezy this morning. Just kind of, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's just kind of like it comes in gusts. It's not like 5 to 8 mile an hour wind gusts. So that dries things out quicker than you'd think. But yeah, now I'm just going to take and work on getting the gear together that I need to take back with me that I don't want to leave here. Things that I don't want to leave here is like this wool blanket, because that's something that mice will just take advantage of. And this, I really like it. So really any bedding stuff, when I had my other wall tent, I kept it in that USMC cot bug net thing, and that kept, insects and mice from getting to my bed and stuff. Everything else here is pretty much not going to be bothered with. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you have not already. Share the channel with your friends, family, anybody enjoys go outdoor activities and gear. Hit me up in that comment section with your thoughts and opinions on the hot tent videos. If you're liking them, things you'd like to see done. You want to see a little bit more in-depth cooking and all, because I do want to, I still got some bushcraft trips and everything planned. But winter don't last forever, unfortunately, and try to get in what content I can. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this. So until the next one, adios.